Okay. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting, Pacc, is being recorded and will be uploaded to the Lunenburg Access YouTube after the meeting. This meeting is being held in person at the location provided in this notice. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and/or participation is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the broadcast, unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with particular interest in any specific item on this agenda should make plans for in-person versus virtual attendance accordingly. Zoom meeting information is in the notice. The agenda lists all the topics which may be discussed at the meeting and are those reasonably anticipated by the chair. Votes may be taken as a result of these discussions. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and all other items not listed may be also brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by the open meeting law. As we have one committee member attending by Zoom, votes will be by roll call. Roll call. Steve, are you here?
Yes, here.
Paul, are you here?
I am here.
Excellent. Faith, are you here?
I'm here.
And Pete?
I am here.
And I'm here, as you can tell. We're also joined by our trusty and faithful manager, Joe.
No charge for the.
Star of the day.
Oh,
No, I did less than 30 seconds.
Less
Less than 30 seconds. I'm good.
Plus, it was his own cover.
No, that's illegal.
Oh,
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, or the studio in this case, are there any public comments? Hearing none, are there any committee comments?
Yes, I have one. Were you or any of our committee invited to be part of the master plan?
No, I wasn't.
I think you're the only committee that wasn't. I've been attending it. None of the committee. I haven't seen anyone from Pacc is involved.
Master plan is a master plan for the town buildings.
Pretty much everything, space, buildings,
Oh,
master plan for the next 25 years. As far as I can see, practically every committee had been invited.
not that I know of.
Yep. And I'm surprised that Pacc wasn't asked, because obviously we're gonna have to have a future somewhere.
Yes.
To finish that.
Should we do something about it, or more accurately, is there something we should do about it? If you already go to those meetings.
Well, if you want to assign me to be the one from this committee.
Make a motion to be the representative of Pacc.
I second that.
All right.
All in favor by roll call, Steve?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Faith?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, you
You
walked
asked
into
for
that
it.
one, didn't you?
Well, it's just that they're discussing essentially the path the town's gonna take for the next 25 years in all and everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
The thing that the 300 committee is concerned about is there's no space for large gatherings and stuff.
at which point I would be
And so-
105.
So. In 5 years.
Special wellness
I thought you said 25 years.
Well, it's a plan for that distance,
Yes,
so that's what the committee is.
But it starts next week.
28. And there's no place actually to have a gathering of 2,000 people and stuff like these.
Right.
We are, yeah, and we're an important part of town.
Very.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we obviously have a future other than here,
Yes.
so.
Good.
Okay, so thank you for that, Pete. Congratulations for digging a hole and jumping.
Bringing that up. Yep.
Well, if he's there anyway, it makes sense.
It absolutely does, so thank you for volunteering. Any other committee comments?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I would just like to comment and commend the staff from Pacc for all of the coverage of all the town meetings, you know, the various committee meetings. I know it's a a lot of work, sometimes thankless, so I would like to go on record to thank you. People do rely on them, for a number of reasons. Your turnaround for uploading things onto YouTube is, relatively quick. Sometimes it's the same night, same weekend. I mean, you really are doing a great job with that, so thank you, keep it up.
Second,
Thank you.
second to that.
And thirded.
It's important to the town.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm writing.
Don't believe it was a motion, I believe it was a comment.
It was a
Yeah,
comment.
I wrote down.
Excellent. Any further committee comments? Hearing none, any communications? The only one I'm aware of was a letter to Joe and me asking for us to write a letter to send to somebody on the H74 bill, which is the streaming bill. So Joe and I are diligently working on this.
To the Honorable Michael Moore,
Oh, yeah, he's the chair of the.
Chairman of the Joint Committee on Advanced Information Technology, the Internet and Cybersecurity.
Keep name, right?
He's-
Okay.
Yep.
Anything?
US
further?
representative in Congress.
Nope, state.
Oh, state, okay.
So next item on the agenda, review and approve the meetings from the 5th of February or the 2nd of May, it's the dates. It's the way we do it here. Yeah,
February 5th.
should have the day first, then the month. and-
Oh, okay.
It's exactly right.
Okay.
Did anyone have any comments on the minutes?
There's one M in Somerset, Steve.
Where's Somerset?
Last line.
He's the expert on the spelling of all, what's it, 352
Well,
towns?
that's Jerry Randy's stuff.
Oh, okay, so the double points. on that.
So. Faith is gonna make a motion. Oh, I already wrote her name down.
Faith,
Second,
maybe she's muted again,
Someone make a motion.
or maybe we got broke up.
I'll make a motion.
She-
Yeah, I make a motion
I
to-
knew-
accept the minutes as presented,
As amended.
as amended.
Second that.
Oh, Peter.
Oh, Peter.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
you missed it.
Just
Your
gonna-
eight, your
gonna
eight,
put-
your eight ball's getting larger.
Yeah, I gotta
just
just.
too
get early
damn
in the morning.
efficient.
How anyone watches it.
Yesterday I realized that you
Okay.
you
No,
lose
no,
an
no.
hour.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry, there's a motion second, any further discussion?
Nine.
Hearing none, all those in favor, by roll call, Steve.
Aye,
Paul,
Yes,
Faith,
aye.
Pete,
Aye.
and me.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm really happy to keep you know. No, this is not my world.
One of these days, someone's gonna look at this.
Really? Oh, sorry.
no. Hate to break your bubble. on that.
Managers monthly report, which I
What's the over-under on that?
observe is much thinner than usual.
It is much thinner than usual, not for the lack of work I've been doing. This is Joe Toll speaking. As Paul mentioned, we've been inundated with scheduling meetings and a lot of our videographers are doing other things in addition to the government meetings. And when they do government meetings, lately it's been 3, 4, 5 hours
Wow.
at a clip. So it's been really stressful for them. So that's what's going on there. I was out for almost a week sick last week, so right now I'm playing catch up. But I'm working on the ARPA funding for the studio equipment. We have the quotes and I'm just looking for a purchase order money transfer from the ARPA funds. I checked on that today with Heather and I think she got back to me while I was sitting here, so I'll have more news about that. Steve and I have been working on the FY25 budget numbers and presentation, which you'll see tonight. and we'll be reviewing those. I met with two of the House reps. I believe one of the reps' names was Joan Machino, and our representative Margaret Scarsdale through a Zoom call last Tuesday. And I had to pull myself out of bed to go to the meeting.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't want
The
to,
camera.
but I tried to most of the time. But it was an important call that I had to be on, because they invited a number of public access managers to participate in it. They are looking to get more letters and get more active on the H-74 S-34 bill. And it's been extended, which doesn't usually happen. Usually they'll drop a bill or continue it for another session, but this one they have some interest in. And they've given it a little bit extra time. I believe the date for us to get in any letters would be April 8th. But what they also talked about, because we're in the media business, was to put together a short video showcasing what we do for the community. Really, it could be very short, a little bit of footage from meetings, a little bit of footage from our public channel, a little bit from our educational channel.
Baseball program,
Absolutely. We'll put,
Mhm.
that's the kind.
Sports.
All the sports.
well, right, right. Well, that's what so I have to meet with Eric to work on that.
Now, is that amongst all the 5 managers that were there, or are we each doing one?
Everyone's doing one.
They're all doing, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Or they took the suggestion, whether they do it or not, I don't know. But, and
So
I,
basically, you're making a PSA.
basically a
So-
PSA.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes. So that was a very good meeting. And I have a draft of the letter to the committee. For Bill H-74, a draft, and I have to,
I sent you some other stuff, right?
yes, I know, I was working on incorporating that in today.
Okay, we can get together if you want.
Yeah, I have it here, maybe tomorrow at some point, yeah. And the rest is administrative work. I've been catching up on scheduling, programming and scheduling videographers and lots of uploads and downloads. So that's all I have this for a report. As far as your packet, it is a little thin. But if you notice on the main page here, we are now we've now reached $1,006,400.
Just, one question, is it because of the fiscal year? It says February 2023 here, is that correct?
That's last month's numbers, yeah.
Okay, but so the 2023, I just, that was,
Oh, my mistake.
okay, it should be February 2024.
24.
Okay.
Oh, I'm glad you saw that.
Yeah, that kind of jumped out at me, it's like, yeah, okay, good.
I will make that correction.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm just living in the past.
Do you care to comment on the issue with our indirect costs? The
Well, are you speaking about the 2023 indirect costs?
No, the 2022 surplus indirect costs.
Right, I don't have those numbers now.
Okay, but just so the committee is aware.
Oh, yes. We had, when we were doing budget planning for FY 23, we had to put in an estimate of what the indirect costs would be. Indirect costs are the funds that they take out at the beginning of every year, and it's for health insurance, retirement, all the tax things,
Or benefited
And
employees.
for
so
benefited.
not-
right? So we had the opening for the production technician in FY 22 and 23. And in order to be prepared to hire someone, we had to estimate what the indirect costs would be. And typically the estimate would have to be the top amount
Medical.
for medical in case someone came and they wanted to insure their 6 children. You know, we don't know, is it gonna be a single person? Is it gonna be a family person? We just, the only way to do it is to estimate the highest cost it would be. We didn't end up hiring a production technician in FY 23. So the actual indirect cost reduced down to around $21,000. From what was taken was 48,
It's about $25,000.
there's
Yeah.
$25,000 difference. We haven't seen that money back yet.
That's what I.
Mhm.
It's I don't know where it is, but we're gonna be working with finance to figure out how to get that money back.
They have agreed with us that it's owed to us.
That's good.
And in fact, not quite the same thing for FY 23 that we got, for FY 24. You're much better at these year things.
I don't even think calendar year anymore.
For some of this I have. But, the production technician that came in didn't take the highest level of insurance, whatever his reasons were, that's his business. So there should be a return coming for, FY 23 as well,
Correct.
I think. Is that
That's correct.
So we're still, there's some money floating around, which is probably in the region of 30,000, 35,000. But
So do they actually take the money out?
The
Or-
first day of the fiscal year, that money comes right out of our coffers.
all of
And it goes into the general fund of the
It
town?
goes, it goes into, no, it goes into the end, well, I can't say no. I'm not sure. Not sure where it ends up, but it comes out of our line item.
Mhm.
I have to take the,
Are you done for your report, basically? If you need to take it, Joe.
Hey, sorry to bug you right now, but they heard back from Heidi and apparently all the Zoom links are being used, so I think the meeting's canceled tonight.
okay.
So yeah, it's a very strange situation. I've just never done this before. Is it, how do you shut down?
Yeah, if they're not having the meeting, you can shut down.
Gotcha. And then as well, on my time card, do I put 5 to 6?
Yes.
Okay, cool, just checking. All right, sorry to bug you, I just never had this happen. That's what I'm sure.
Okay, well, I'm in a meeting, so I'm gonna run.
Yes, sounds good. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Sorry about that.
So that's our Zoom feed.
We were lucky enough to get one.
I know.
So yeah, so that's the situation for FY 22 and FY 23. FY 24 was correct. The rest of
You
this,
know what? No, it says FY 24 is also, because that's when.
Uh,
that's
he
when they
was hired at the end of, no. He was hired at the end of FY 23.
The end of June, or, I thought he started in July,
No,
okay. But even so,
the
number we
budget
had
was
in-
set.
right, the number we had in the budget for FY 24 was too high, and they took it.
Right.
That's life, folks, but anyway, we are working actively with the new finance director, Ezekiel, is that right?
That's correct. I
Wow.
think it's Ayala.
Okay.
Ayala, I think. Yeah, he's been
So-
very helpful.
But he's coming on board, so this isn't the highest priority for the moment. But our understanding is he's lost and they do agree there's an issue. to get fixed.
Right, right,
That's what matters to us as a committee.
right. There's just, the calendars are in there. Pete Talking Baseball was moved to Thursday on the March calendar. It's not shown on there, but it's the 28th, right?
Should just, for my own home, we're starting our 10th season.
Good for you.
And we've done 10
Congratulations.
shows ever since 2015. Unbroken sequence.
Excellent.
And Dan and John have added touches like backgrounds and extra pictures and doing different features. Debbie's, thanks to Eric, Debbie's now appearing on camera. which
Oh,
is
yeah, Eric
fantastic.
wanted that.
So she's now, the truck is asking questions to us with pictures.
Oh,
Yeah. Good. That's excellent.
It's going, it's fun.
all right.
That's right.
Need to blow your own horn because all
Yes,
other people.
right.
Oh,
That's
Nice.
good.
The chart here, the program analysis,
A beautiful color chart,
which is horribly colored because of my printer.
but now I can at least see the. difference,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah. This is getting really exciting because we've almost reached our FY 24 numbers. And it's just March, so,
Mhm.
and we'll show you that in, Steve's presentation.
If you send me the right slide.
I sent you everything I had. And that is really all I have this month.
Well, it's very good.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Anything else, Faith, anything for Joe?
Well, I was just wondering if more of like Talking Baseball or other shows have been used by other stations around the country.
Yes, we have right now, I don't have an exact count on Talking Baseball, but we have affiliates numbering 91 now.
Wonderful.
And most of those take Talking Baseball. There's probably a handful that don't.
Hmm.
Same with Story Time.
Yep.
Most of them take Story Time, some do, a handful do not. Many of them take both.
Make sure that's.
Great.
Yeah,
That despite the fact we're local and our emphasis is local, guess what?
exactly.
Yep.
Okay, anyone else? Hearing none, thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. Now we get to the fun part of it. All the evening. Trying to finish this meeting by 7 will indeed be a challenge.
I
Move to Jim.
let my significant other know that tonight I might be a little later. So-
Okay,
I'll make it as long as that selectmen's being.
Oh. Oh, God. Those poor people. And the ones I feel the most for, the videographers. They have to
I
go in and
really-
Stab themselves to stay awake. They look pretty tired at the end of that, yeah. All right. Ooh.
is there a way of doing this so Faith can see it, or we not going to attempt that?
Well, I can listen carefully.
Why don't you turn the computer around so it looks at that screen? Will that work? I know it won't pick up the spreadsheet ones very well.
You can do a screen share, can't you do a screen share?
But I don't know what happens because the screen it'll share is this one,
Okay,
which is the PowerPoint screen, not the.
okay. Right.
Well, the PowerPoint screen can share. You
If I
can,
don't do this. Remember, this screen's different. I've got the next slide and notes, and
okay.
I don't know which one it would put up.
Can you see that, Faith? Is it backward?
I'm I can't make it bigger on my, let me see if I do it. Okay, I can read it. No, it's
Is it-
not backward.
Oh, terrific.
Yeah, it should be backwards on your computer, Joe.
Yeah,
Okay.
but now
can
it's in front of,
Can you also hear us, Faith?
Yes, I can. You're the one I have the hardest time hearing because you're farthest away from the computer speaker.
I am, but
Do you-
that's why
do you-
Joe made me sit. Whether
I was gonna say, would you like to book seats for the moment?
No.
Oh, cause you, okay.
That's nice idea though, thank you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go through what Joe and myself have worked on for the presentation for FinCom, and if necessary, would be used for the town meeting. We normally are in the bunch that get put together, I've forgotten what they call it, when they put some simple motions together and just approve all of them as one. Yeah, that one, you remember. what it's called.
special meeting.
It does, come on, people, what have you missed? Now, there are some holes in this presentation. Basically because they are coming from an Excel spreadsheet. So, this is the presentation piece. I can't put the spreadsheets in until we've done the budget. So, there in a spreadsheet, we can actually alter things in the spreadsheet. And if I've done my work well, oh, sorry, if I've done my, sorry, I can't say that with a straight face, then it will flow through the spreadsheet and fix all the other bits and pieces that we changed.
One does it.
So, oh, there you go.
can you see
that
Pete?
all right, Faith?
Yes, I can.
Excellent.
If you could move over, you might be able to. What about you, Steve?
I can see perfectly.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Okay, so this mission statement for Pacc, which Joe, I would say plagiarized from the annual report that we send in. But given that she wrote most of it, it's hardly plagiarization. So
I plagiarized myself.
Called consistency.
So, here are some accomplishments. Improve the production quality of the town meeting, because we now have 4 cameras, direct inputs for presentations and voting. Increase the number of government meetings recorded. Grew the amount of back content shared on nationwide database, and continued local programming growth. So this in part is basically selling Pacc, and this is going to become important when we start playing with spreadsheets. So this is a list of the government meetings that were covered. It now includes Pacc, which it didn't. You're not gonna be able to leave that one.
I know.
Joe put all this stuff together and Pacc wasn't on the list. So, good for you, Joe.
Park in the trees.
So this is the meeting hours recorded. You'll notice that the videographer hours are more than the meeting hours, and that's because we require the videographers to get there early enough to get set up and be ready to go deal with any issues. This is a list of locally produced programs. The ones that are highlighted, like Taking Baseball, Story Time, and Movie Talk, are ones that are also being taken elsewhere in the country. There's more to talk about when we really do. I'm flashing through this for you. So the only really important thing is the box is the backup data, but it says, and Pete can't see the important bit, FY22 to FY23 programs grew 33%. You could see that. So that's one of the messages we want to leave them with. They want to have joy and play with the numbers in the boxes. Good luck to them. So this is channel 9, which is public channel, showing the local programming with, especially for Paul, colored pie charts.
Like the pie charts.
Channel 22, which is educational. I love that picture.
You're gonna give more information
Yeah.
when you do the,
When-
okay.
When it's really done, I'm just trying to lay the groundwork here for us to get to the real job.
The monies, yeah.
Oh, yeah, believe me, you won't be able to stop me too. Have you noticed that? Oh, I'm sorry, I should go back on that one. The educational channel's been in operation for 4 years, so we are now a complete PEG, Public Education Government channel. Some programs get shared on both 9 because they're governmental and 22 because they're educational. The school committee airs 3 times a week, and sports, I guess it's at least twice a week, isn't it, Joe?
Mhm.
So rather than twice a week, because we're getting quite a lot of sports coverage now, which is
So
excellent.
that, yes.
Okay, did you want me to say at least twice a week? That's good.
For
I can-
sports hearing,
Yeah, or I can just say, it, leave the slide.
it's twice a week on each channel, 22 and 9, so.
I'll just say. So this I have to put up every time to make sure that the people are understanding where our money comes from. So the PAC revenue reserved for PAC capital improvements and operations does not affect the town budgets.
Can you bold that and highlight it?
Yeah.
Say it loud.
I do, and I pause.
Put fireworks after it.
Enterprise fund is reserved for fitting out and equipping our new studio. You will notice it doesn't say if we get one, when we get one. It's
Yeah.
affirmative.
It's, should it say the Pacc Enterprise Fund? Is there more than one enterprise fund?
Yeah.
Because there's a sewer
No, I
enterprise,
have
there's
to
a
do that.
cemetery enterprise, right?
We don't want to be mixed up with those.
I don't think is the cemetery an enterprise fund?
I don't know, but I
But
know there's
sewer
more than one.
definitely is.
I know there's more than one.
I think us in the sewer and our organization are
Well, but,
the only 2.
There's more than one.
but you say
Yeah.
the PAC revenue.
Yeah.
so The PAC
Yeah.
Enterprise Fund, I think
Yeah.
that just,
Yeah, I think that's good too.
Okay, I will add that in there. The franchise fee from Comcast is the principal source of PAC income. Somebody tell me if that's the right spelling for principal.
No,
No, I think it's LE.
LE, because principal
Principal
is
is
the
the
principal
person
is your
That's
pal.
what I,
Yeah, the principal is your pal.
now is the first.
The principle of things.
It's the most important, biggest, etc. I'm not gonna go change it now.
Some principals have no principle.
There you go. Exactly.
We've seen that.
We've seen that. Yes.
We just got a new prayer book for our church. It talks about the principal service. And it's spelled that.
You better let them know that it's wrong.
This is a whole published book. Drives me nuts.
Yeah.
In addition, PAC receives interest monthly, and some of the, again, I will, every time I
Yeah.
say enterprise fund, I have to put PAC in
Yeah.
front, okay?
where do we receive interest from?
Some of the, what?
In
From-
addition, PAC receives
Interest monthly,
from
Yeah.
where?
From-
From the bank.
From investments.
small amount.
It's just this little bit,
It's just, that the funds that the FinCom are holding, not FinCom.
okay,
but
so it's not like,
Finance
it's not
Department.
our investment income,
That's the next bullet.
okay, or it's, okay, that's
No,
fine.
but I'm with what you're saying.
I just wanna make sure I know
Yeah.
where,
So the last bullet, 30,000 PA, what's the PA stand for, per annum?
All right, yes, thank you. I'm glad somebody knows.
I
that.
asked the same thing.
Right, so maybe you should per annum. The dopes like me who.
Ah, right,
Where's my mom?
okay. I just spell annum.
you could put
A- and
P
then
slash A Y too,
Yeah.
isn't that the abbreviation of annual?
PA is the real abbreviation. Or you can do P/Y if you want.
But you spell it out, cause people are gonna
Yeah.
really,
And they're, pa's getting that, yeah.
Oh, no. Meanwhile, back of the road.
That's right.
So, we are going to fill up some of these spaces using the spreadsheet that we have to do. So the presentation will show our Comcast actual fee income.
Mhm.
Okay, and we'll get to all of these. Then the anticipated income, so that's, what we expect to happen, including,
25.
what's wrong with that? It's only missed by one.
Hey, if Paul can call me out, I can call you.
Yes, thank you. Exactly.
Another question,
Oh,
is
yeah,
it
I'm gonna write
the
down.
Public Access Committee anticipated income, or is it public access?
Well,
channels
officially, we're responsible for the
Okay.
money.
Just
So
wanted to make sure.
It is Pacc,
Okay,
but Joe spends it.
true.
We're
So
not
it should be
spending.
Joe's anticipated.
I'd love it.
Okay, so that will take into account franchise fee income going down. By the way, we'll also include the interest from the Bartholomew Fund.
Yep, thank you.
I do have a question,
Congratulations.
troublemaking one maybe,
No,
but,
no, please.
would this be an appropriate place to perhaps throw in a little plug for that H-74?
That's coming up.
bill?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was wondering that too.
That, you know,
Yeah, no, it's
that
it's
this
in there.
may go away,
It's got its whole slide.
very good.
So the box we will fill this with has the annual operations and not to exceed a certain number, which is, we'll go through that when we do the spreadsheet, but that's what the box is for at the bottom. So, whoops, no, that. That's interesting. So then we have the indirect costs. We are not addressing in here the issue of the monies that need to be restored and things, because we feel it's not the right place for it. And it's under control, we just don't have answers for it.
It would raise more questions than really
And that's
necessary.
the problem, and I think it's the wrong world to do it in.
Yeah.
So we're working with.
Yeah.
So this is the actual budget, which you notice has nothing in it.
Very transparent.
It is, we try to be transparent.
Beautiful. Gives new meaning to the word.
Even
ghosting.
better,
I can't
this
question
slide
it.
will be exactly the same as the previous one, except I'm gonna make it bigger with slightly less information on, in case anyone wants to do line by line discussion, which they're entitled to do.
Right.
My preference is,
They don't.
it's ready for me, well, Joe's gonna be there as well, but it's ready to answer individual line item questions if they have them.
Okay.
Then the summary budget, this is the only slide that really matters in the whole thing.
It really is.
This is the one that in 4 lines, a little more, it says how much we're getting in, how much we plan to spend, and pretty much that's it. It also makes it clear what we're allowed to spend if we're running responsibly, because that's one of our issues. This we felt we should just throw in, it just tells them where we are with ARPA funding. It's not required. It's changing daily, but if someone wants to know about it, this is not part of our budget, okay? So we need to be clear on that. This is a separate ARPA budget that we applied for and we did. So,
Would it make some sense to put a bracket underneath Pacc ARPA funding and just drive that point home that it's outside of the budget?
I will say that.
Oh, you say it out loud? Okay.
Do you want to
Well,
put, since you're being consistent, do you want to put PACC ARPA funding?
yes, I do. Good for you. Yes.
Well, if Paul can call me. out.
That one, man. Just proofreading. Everyone
I
needs to
know,
go proofread that.
Actually, although Joe and I have been through all of this, we really were slamming stuff together.
Yeah,
Yes,
Of
of
We
course.
haven't done the proofreading step yet,
no,
because we haven't got a complete presentation.
Sure.
But
right.
anyway, this tells you the 3 phases, tells you where we're at with them. I really wanted with that bullhorn at the top,
Yeah.
to put one of those things that says, oh, you know.
You can add sound.
Yeah, we can add sound if you want.
So I
Wake
think,
up half the people there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
no, no.
we should, that should be a no, whatever you call it.
So
Yeah.
this one is what you're asking about, Paul.
Yeah.
So it's its own slide.
Yeah.
An act to modernize funding.
Yeah,
And then I've added to it, because we've used this, most of this before. It's alive, it's alive.
yeah. Get a
Okay.
gif of Frankenstein.
Joint committee, Joe made the point earlier, the bill's deadline was extended rather than sent to study, which really means kill it. So it's been extended. It's, in summary, it's state only, one solution for the state, fees on rights of way delivery, streaming, blah, 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 blah. And other states and municipalities have already imposed these fees. So this is just to make them aware this is around if they aren't aware of it, and that we're involved with trying to help it get through. Do we want to add anything about your meeting here, Joe? One you just had, and you're going to make a PSA on this. Probably not the right place, because we're really trying to talk about money.
Right,
Okay, that's not good. Too confused. Here's the proposed warrant, which is already submitted, and I have a receipt for it. This warrant is generic, because that's the way they do them. There's no number in it. And that's dealt with when they actually have the meeting. The number is put there and make up the motion. So anyone have any other comments on that? Because if not, we're going to go to the spreadsheet and try and fill up those blank ones, which I'm not going to do live. It's on the spreadsheet.
Right.
If I can find it.
are we doing, should I leave this as it is?
Yes. Ah, ooh, ah. Why doesn't
Faith
it
just
bring-
went to
There's
we on the
nothing
black
wrong with
or
your
the green?
TV, this is a,
Hey,
Well, that's nice picture.
we're all going sailing.
It's
So,
a
do
black sail.
you know what a kilderkin is? That's the name of the boat.
It's a beauty.
It's a half barrel, which in my vision, it's a small vessel for containing drink.
Does it, does it have a centerboard or a keel?
Centerboard.
Of course.
It doesn't keggerate.
It does actually have a 200-pound lead keel, which I cast. That was fun. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, this is the one we want. Why isn't that showing up there? That's a trick. Second display for some reason.
With MacBook, sometimes you have to do a screen mirroring thing or something like that.
This is
It's an HP.
Okay.
Hey.
These are all the words for Wordle for the last 750 days.
Did you see
Really?
today's Wordle?
I did.
You see my comment?
Oh, I didn't see a comment on it.
I have a dog named Pesky. It's her birthday today, and that was the word.
Oh.
How's that? for-
That's
Yeah, that was a.
pretty
I thought
weird.
That was a tough word today. Okay.
I did it. One, three. My wife
That's
keeps
so
running out and
Five,
saying,
four.
It was a hard.
Go play those numbers or something.
Yeah,
"Okay,
KY was
it's
the
her
killer.
birthday.
I know.
So this is the first slide, which I'm not quite sure how to make it
Bigger,
bigger. Probably,
control plus
well, I can't do this, there's a little thing down in this corner.
zoom.
The slider, yeah.
Down here. I can
There you
do
go.
that. That's about as big as I can make it and get it all on.
Okay.
So what this one has in, this isn't the really important one, we'll get to that one. This is the Comcast estimator. So it shows the calendar years, just for Joe's special approval, from 21 through February of 24. It also has a column for the financial year as well. The reason I use calendar years here, because we've got more complete information by doing it by calendar year. It's just the way that these come in. So down at the bottom here, this section here. Okay, is that still readable or not? Probably not.
I can read it.
This shows us the average Comcast quarterly fee. The average over the last 2 quarters was down as 47,808. And then I've got the average for calendar 23, the average for calendar 22, and the percentage change, which, by the way, for us is significantly less than it seems to be for a lot of other Paccs around, because those numbers, they've been putting them out on the forum sometimes. And some people are getting 8 and 10% cuts on their fees, which is not good. So using those numbers and the percentage change, I have estimated, which is the very bottom line there, is this number here, 194,304 as our Comcast income for FY25. We understanding what's been done here, we're all okay with it?
Yeah.
You can trust the spreadsheet.
So the fluctuation plus or minus has to do with how many extra subscriptions there are to Comcast?
Yes, it's the video services. It's not just subscriptions. So, which is a common confusion, unfortunately. It's not cable cutting either, which is another confusion. It's video services. So if somebody took a big package and then got laid off, so they cancelled HBO, Stars and all the rest, and the video services income to Comcast would go down. They would still have a subscription to Comcast.
I see.
So that's the first confusion. The second confusion applies to age 74.
Yep.
And that is, they're not cutting the cable. They're just stopping using all the video of Comcast.
Right.
And they're using the same physical cable they were using to get their internet provided.
Right, so your
So
Netflix and.
We get
streaming.
nothing out of that.
Right.
Because there are no video services the way
Yeah.
the law stands. So we think we're okay with this because it looks like, well, it is a bunch of information, but the spreadsheet managed to reduce it down. So here, put it up towards the top. This top box here is the anticipated income. So from Comcast, that's the same number we just had. Regular interest, and I would love Joe to explain that to me, and Joe would love me to explain it to her, because we're confused by this, but it's the number that we actually got in FY23. Is that right, Joe?
Yes.
She keeps me in line. It's really annoying.
Yeah,
And
it was,
more than we expected, but
there was an anomaly and
we think, yeah.
it could not explain why one month it spiked up quite a bit.
Given that we can't explain it, we're just having to use it as is at this point.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
The bond interest, that's Bartholomew. That's estimated at 30,960. That is the same as we're expecting for this calendar year. And it's the best we can do because we're not bond experts. We don't know what's going to happen with interest rates. And if you want to really understand those, you need to predict what's going to happen in the general election that's happening later this year. Not about to do that. So that total, and the bond interest, it says there that it's reserved for capital. The reason that we're saying that is we can't use that for operations because when they give us the studio, we're going to spend this money. So we won't be getting that interest. So we can't rely on it. However, we can use it to offset inflation for the monies that we do have because we're not getting more capital from Comcast at this point. So is that picture okay with it?
Makes
Okay.
sense, yeah.
So the bottom line there,
Yeah.
207,803 is the money that we should try not to exceed our operations expenses because that's the repeatable money.
Mhm.
Making sense?
Yep.
Tell me if I'm not. No, don't tell me. No, you tell me.
So that's the total less the bond interest, basically.
Essentially, yes. Right, exactly. Yes.
Exactly, yeah.
So now, okay, then the next one, this is the really, really important one. Actually, Joe thinks the next box is even more.
Mhm.
So, and I have the full spreadsheet, which we're welcome, we're happy to go through line by line if you want. But the summary budget has salaries of 112,000 roughly. The indirect costs, which really are part of salaries, but that's the money that's taken right up front. This has been about 48,000 previous years. Because of our actual situation at the moment, it's about 25,000. That's one of the numbers that we may change because we're going to change something. The green shaded ones are changeable cells. So the operations excluding salaries came to 24,000. So that's all the other bits and pieces that we have, SD cards and print ink and advertising. We can go through them a little bit if you want. And then this grey shaded one says we have 46,000 left over from that. However, in all previous years, we have had in 30,000, which is the next line down, for capital. We have to put something there because if the caster has a conniption and we have to replace it, we can't wait for a town meeting or special town meeting to get the money for a catastrophic failure. So that's why we put it there. But it could come from the enterprise fund if we needed to, as long as we budget it at the time our budget's approved. Okay. You all good with that?
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Which is the best thing to do at the moment. Then our total, I love that word, is 191,000. And we still have 16,000 left over. So that would be based on our present standing as we are at the moment. Now, the next box, which caused me the most trouble, Joe was recently promoted to being exempt, which as a consequence reduced her salary because she does no longer get overtime. That doesn't mean Joe isn't doing a lot of overtime, which we recognize and appreciate and very grateful for. Fresh out of luck. Oh, sorry. So because of the way that happened, it ends up, and if you see the little green cell here, this one here, that's got Joe in at 28 hours. Now, if that number of hours changes, and apparently we can do this, we tried to go through a previous procedure to get Joe's job to make it whole, basically, when they made her exempt. By the way, we never even got a response to that we were sent in at that time.
Was a
we
letter,
agreed what to send in. So what I've done here, I have put in Joe's hourly rate, the hours she presently does, which is 28, and no overtime. Not that she doesn't do it because she doesn't get paid for it. And then that gives an annual salary. Joe gets longevity because she's been here quite a while. Medicare, health, workers' comp, and retirement. So those are the elements of the indirect costs. Okay. Eric, non-exempt, has an hourly rate there. His official time is 20 hours per week, and he averages at least 2 more hours a week, which some weeks is more, some weeks is less, but that's the best number we could come up with. For the videographers, which for some reason we have to put in this box, which even the finance department was slightly confused by, are unbenefited. That's delightful work.
Mm,
So
Less so well, but.
as far as I can tell, and we did not get confirmation when we met with the finance department. Then they still have to do the Medicare and the workers' comp bit. And we know the workers' comp is not there. And that disturbs me a lot. It needs to be there. Because if they climb up a ladder with a camera, they can drop the camera, we can fix that. If they fall off the ladder, that's a different set of rules. So that needs to be fixed. What I've done, I've put it in, because these are all based on algorithms, okay? Now, what I'm going to talk about here, and Joe's welcome to leave the room, but I much prefer she stays. We can change the 28 hours to something that's more practical, relating to what Joe actually does for work, and get much closer to where, probably slightly better, I believe, if we put the right number in there, than where she was before she was promoted to exempt. So that number, which is 28, I think the first one we looked at was 34, wasn't it, Joe?
Mhm.
So if I change that to 34, all sorts of numbers all over the place magically change, which is frightening. It still leaves us, you see this box here? It still leaves us with $3,300 in the black. Okay. We could put that number up to 36 and make the little box change color.
Right.
Because now we're slightly over. From my perspective, I believe we should put in 36. I believe that's within our budget. I believe we have for future years enough reserves that the capital that we take out of operations right now would then move to our, basically our enterprise reserve fund, which is for capital type things. So we can take the 30,000 for capital out and still be good. So the line under the pink one says if we exclude the capital, we'd still be 30,000 in the green, which is what that seems to make sense. It also leaves us a little room for future negotiations and such like. So that's the, I'm going to leave the 36 there for the moment because we've just got a little more to look at.
Can I ask a question about,
please.
is there any other function you can do on the spreadsheet that will make that pink box not pink anymore? That would be,
Anything other than, well, I can make Joe's 35 hours and stuff.
no, I'm all with keeping it at 36 for fairness
Okay.
and what's right.
What I can do is bill Eric's overtime, but that makes no sense because we
No.
want him to have the overtime.
All right.
We've spent you wouldn't believe how long I've spent on putting this thing
All right,
together.
maybe I'm picking you on something.
Let me make one other comment.
Sure.
Which is valid, and that's the precision of this work is the best we can do to make guesses at numbers for a year's time.
Okay.
So if this is plus or minus 5,000, I would say we've done an amazingly good job.
Okay.
Because that's not what it's going to be at the end of. Some we spend a little more on, some we spend a little more.
What you
less
call
on.
the actual later, yeah.
Correct, and we don't have that.
Mhm.
Okay, so,
I'm very comfortable with this sitting near zero. I would be uncomfortable if we went to the line items. So with this picture, we've got to save $1,000. So let's go in and take $300 off this one and 400 off, because I consider that's quite false, right?
I'm with you on all that. I just,
Okay.
the pink just jumps out. I just don't know if someone.
It's meant to, because it tells everyone else that this is what's going on. And preparing them, because in 12 months' time, it'll be more difficult to keep that roundabout zero.
Yeah.
We have the $30,000 capital, so we still have that can be direct, not operations funding. So my best guess is we've got 2 more years before we have to hope that the streaming bills come through and give us some more.
Okay.
Otherwise, we will have to make some hard decisions.
Okay.
But bear in mind also, this budget, which is 200,000 roughly, is chicken feed compared with what's going on with the town budget.
Mhm.
So.
And it's also self-sustained.
I'm hopeful they will be grateful with what we've done here.
Mhm.
And I will repeat again, that means the third time, I'll repeat it with the second. This money is reserved for our new student.
Yeah.
Somebody, when they see a large number, now previous years, we have put in a best guess of where our enterprise fund would stand at the end of the financial year. We can't do that this year, in part because of the confusion over the indirect costs. Plus, we don't think it's valuable because its accuracy is not going to be very good at all. So we're not putting that in. If someone asks, as Joe knows, I will find a number somewhere and give it to them. So are we okay with this so far? Because what I'm going to do, I'll show you the big spreadsheet. In case there's anything on there you want to question, we'll go through that. And then after that, I have 3 motions that I've put together, which I've written down. But they're missing a magic piece of information. So the way this is set up at the moment has Joe at 36 hours. We haven't done that yet. That would be subject to a motion, but don't worry. I haven't forgotten, and if I did, Joe would come and smack me around the back of my head. I would remember very quickly.
Yeah, we're,
Only that's much worse now, I don't have any hair.
no padding.
What we need to do is go to the budget.
Beautiful.
So, the columns are the FY23 actuals, FY24 budget, FY24 actuals through December. Conveniently, that's exactly half the financial year. As a starting point, we have tended to double those, so for the ordinary type things. But if we go down them fairly quickly, the proposed one, which is the last column, that one has taken into account the change of hours we have provisionally put in the other box. Okay? So that's why it doesn't match any of the other ones. But why on earth it's down to 17 cents at the end, I don't know. The videographers are up to 33,000. Why? Because we're doing more coverage of meetings. So this is a good thing. Be grateful that it's gone up. Not down.
Yeah.
That would be bad.
They want it, they're
Okay.
getting it.
Yeah.
And then the longevity I calculated based on Joe's potential new salary. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why it's not 980 or whatever it was before.
Yep. Good.
Okay.
Mhm.
Then $6,000. I'm just going down the FY, the last column.
Mhm.
$6,000 is the rent on this place, which we've had discussions about in the past. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. But make a note in the minutes that Pete growled. when I said
Definitely, yeah, I'm rejecting that still.
not something we're fighting at this moment. We could
No.
take
Mhm.
vendor expenses. Andrea, 1,400. She runs the bulletin board. We have a consultant on demand, which is Travis. We're hoping we can reduce that from where it's been because Eric brings in a lot of knowledge.
Mhm.
There's the advertising, which actually includes Pacc clothing, which we like videographers to wear when they're on the job. Office supplies are things like paper, new ink for the printer and things like that. So the 15,000 is equipment maintenance and supplies. Now that's a whole bunch of things, but includes, for instance, a contract on Castus to get updates of software, same with the TriCaster, or maybe
Yearly fees,
Yes.
also POs for expenses that I incur.
Yeah.
And a small PO for expenses that Eric incurs, day-to-day things.
So it's all of that put together. That's a number from the previous discussion we could mess around with to the extent of $1,000. Then my belief is that defeats what we're trying to do.
Right.
There's the 30,000 for capital. And the indirect costs is shaded green because that's calculated from that previous box, which is presently here, assuming the Joes are running at
Is
36.
that using the latest healthcare adjustment?
As best we can, because
5.7%.
we were given two numbers, we were given 6.6 and then 5.7.
I know the numbers changed lately.
At the moment, it's
Yeah, they, well, it was 6.6 because that's what they projected it to be, but the actual was 5.7.
Thank you. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So at the bottom, these are just working numbers that I have here that really are transferred into that box we looked at, which is the summary budget, which is the only one that matters. So on this spreadsheet, we've been through it line by line very quickly, but does anyone have any questions, comments, or feels the numbers are incorrect some way? Are you following us okay, Faith? I know we're flashing through.
Yep.
it.
Yep, I'm listening.
Okay. So what I did somewhere shows up well organized. No. You can look at this computer.
Well, for indirect costs, 23 actuals were 47. 24 actuals were 47. And, oh, I can look at budget 51, that's the 6 point whatever increase, right? I'm just wondering. You have 27.9 proposed.
Wasn't that 23,000 or something? And
No, that's.
Originally?
Hours with your increase.
Oh, with the
okay,
increase.
Okay, okay, thank you.
that's what I didn't
Oh,
have.
no, please do. Listen, I've had square eyeballs. for a
I kind
fortnight
of
now.
figured, that's why I was looking.
And I just got a request to sign a document for the production technician. It was a step increase. I have to go to town hall and find out what that's all about because his information may be changed.
Okay.
In fact, in fact, the document said so, but I don't know if perhaps the personnel committee upped the step or it was a scheduled thing.
Why aren't you or maybe the committee involved in knowing about this?
I don't know, I just gotta sign this and so I'm gonna look into it
Tell them you have to
tomorrow.
Take it to the committee and they'll give it to you. Process.
Yeah, so I'll give you that information.
Okay, you know what the good news is? I can just plug it in.
Great. That's awesome.
Right.
Once you set it up, it's fine.
Yeah,
Setting it up takes a while.
Joe knows we've had like 3 meetings a week for the last, well, not last week.
Last week we took off.
So, we're working on this box here, which is the summary budget. All the stuff we've looked at is going to magically go into the presentation because you cut and paste these and put them in. So I have three motions that I put together here, which I will read them. My preference is I don't make any of the motions because I've been so involved with putting this together. It's better if it comes from someone else. Oh, do you want to turn?
Are we all
page
set with this?
It's just here. Oh, I can put them up on the screen. Hey, why don't I do that?
Okay.
Cool. Let's get rid of that. Hey, that's my vote. Look at that. Document one. See, age 74 knows.
Yeah.
Ah, Martin.
Oh, you remember cool cigarettes?
I do. I
Throw
used
hot,
to smoke them
cool,
once.
throw hot, smoke. Cool.
Yeah.
Remember those?
Cake with a cake.
Okay, so I will tell
My
you
dad
what all
smoked
three of
those.
them are before we go anywhere, because they're interwoven, as it were. So I'm looking for a motion to increase Joe's hours as manager of Pacc without the second seat, if that's correct, to a certain number of hours per week. I left a space so I can put the number in. At the present moment, we've been discussing around 36. And,
Yeah.
the-
I'll make that motion.
Well, Faith, thank you. Can I just do the other two, just talk about them, and then we'll do one?
Oh, okay. Yep.
So the next one is a motion to approve the budget as discussed and modified at the Pacc meeting of today. That's the in particular derived from the first motion. That's why I wanted to explain all of them. And the third one is a motion to approve the chair make the presentation with the updated budget numbers and calculations as needed to the finance committee and elsewhere as needed. So do we all understand the way they interleave and such like?
Can you, before you read it,
Please.
number 3,
Yes.
approve the PAC chair to make the presentation.
Okay.
That'll just make it clear that you have. Does that make sense?
PACC, yep.
Yeah.
Good point, yeah.
If someone's just reading the motion without knowing it's from us.
So we want two Cs?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, looks good. You can.
I got all kinds of things.
Pack.
Do I water that? You get red.
Apologies to those who stutter.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
Yes.
So, try to run this as the meeting's supposed to be run.
Mhm.
I would entertain someone to make the first motion as on the screen.
Sounds like Faith wants to do it.
Yeah. I so move.
So
Okay.
moved by Faith, a second. By Pete.
Oh, do we actually have 36
We have
hours?
to put
for
the
the-
36.
We haven't done that bit yet.
Oh,
You want-
where are we?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm reading them backwards. Yeah, the motion should read, the one that Faith is making, thank you, Faith. A motion to increase Joe Toll's hours as manager of Pacc to 36 hours per week.
Yes.
You might want, you just have to type
Okay.
that. Right.
Get rid of all the.
No, I wanna write it.
One of those.
Yeah.
I'm taking the little, more than less than out.
Mhm.
Okay, so the motion, so we're all clear, is
Yep.
to increase Joe's hours to 36 hours per week, made by Faith, seconded by Pete. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Joe, did you want to make any comment here? You don't have to, but just. give
No,
you the
I
opportunity.
I appreciate it. I will feel like it's more realistic.
Which
According
page?
to what you
Fair.
do.
As we are
You could
zooming.
use the word fair.
Yeah,
It should have been 3 copies. As we are zooming by roll call, Steve,
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Faith,
Yes.
Pete,
Yes.
and me. So unanimously, the committee passed this motion. Have you used that
No, I just wrote.
spell checker again?
I see that.
I am now entertaining a motion to approve the budget as discussed and modified at the Pacc meeting. Reason it says modified is because we changed the hours.
Motion.
Steve made the motion.
Second again?
Pete seconded it. Do we have any further discussion on the second motion? Hearing none by roll call. Steve,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Faith,
I,
Pete,
Aye.
and myself. Thank you all. And the third one apparently is required. I'm not allowed to stand up and talk about Pacc unless it's approved. There's a motion to approve that I do it.
Sure.
Let's be sure.
Just a point of information on that or a question?
Well, could we have the motion, then we'll have a
Sure.
discussion?
Sure, okay.
All right, so
Otherwise-
Paul will make the motion.
Steve smacks me if I get it.
I move that, we approve the PAC chair to make the presentation.
Second. And Pete will second.
Any further discussion?
Question.
Please.
Where is the meeting and at what time?
It is in the Bellotto room.
Mhm.
March
on the
21st.
21st
Yeah.
of March in the evening. Time presently undefined, but sometime after 7 o'clock is my expectation.
Okay,
When I know the time, I'll send it.
Who else is doing presentations that night, you know? School committee.
Yeah,
You're kidding.
yeah, no, she's not kidding.
Yeah, not kidding.
No,
They were
no, you're
pushed-
kidding. Don't-
No.
No, they were pushed out from, this week.
You mean?
No, they weren't pushed out.
Not pushed out,
But the
sorry.
numbers weren't gonna be, they're still wrangling numbers.
Right.
And so
Right.
the finance committee said, why are you presenting
Oh,
numbers that don't mean anything and then coming back, just come back with the numbers. So
so
they're
they
giving the
before
school.
us or after us?
It's great, I can call, ask my wife.
No.
Because if they are before us, it'll be about 11:30.
yeah, what-
No.
maybe, would it be possible, you already have the language in there that if, any other necessary
Yeah.
meetings. Do you think it is possible that they might bump us out?
Oh, no.
No, they want to,
Actually, my guess is,
Presentation on the 20.
and if he gives us the wrong answer, we can request the
By
reserve.
you, what time? is your-
However, assuming you would like to be there, we have an issue if there are 3 or more of us there.
that was my next question.
Then
Would
we are
you-
meeting.
Would you like to have us there for your support?
But
No.
I'm just wondering.
If Joe's not there, I'm not gonna show up.
Okay,
Joe's the first leg of support.
okay,
Um,
but it would actually
I
hurt
will
more than
have-
help to have any more of us there.
One more, but 2 more starts to get to be a problem. 3 of us is.
Oh, you can't do that though, because
But
you
you
have
have
to
to-
have done it in one of the other presentations.
Yeah, but you have to post it.
Yeah.
As a
Okay.
meeting, and you have to call it as a meeting.
I'll tune in on,
I'm not good at posting.
yeah.
I'll report.
You know,
Thank you.
The damn open meeting law.
Bye-bye. She says he has posted the agenda. So you should know when you are.
Oh,
Yeah, so if someone wants, if someone knows where that is real quick, you can check that. She said she would assume PAC would be before the school committee. Because
I
the
think
school
they would.
committee is gonna take a long time. She is
Absolutely.
assuming. She is assuming that they would do the smaller ones first,
that's what it's
starting at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
So she had her Zoom meeting. She just got off her Zoom
on the
meeting.
internet, who did that?
Pardon me. Okay.
I don't
I'll
know.
look for the agenda and we can move forward with the, approving
Well,
the
just,
motion.
yeah,
So in order to save time.
oh, maybe I hit the line.
No, I hadn't. logged on. Lunenburg. Civic Engage, that's what it's called. Okay, so it's the 21st. There's no agenda posted for the 21st.
I usually don't look that. way.
She said he was posting a whole bunch of them. So look at
Well, the
this
other-
week's. Maybe they listed them all under this week, even though.
Oh,
it's next
well,
week.
that's the 11th, that's the 12th.
Okay, I didn't see that part.
Finance, Select Board, Council on Aging. Personnel, I don't see a FinCom at all there.
Okay, then never mind.
Now, there is another place to go where you can find agendas,
Yeah, I'm going there.
which you can post, I believe.
I can run out to the front of the town hall.
If it's there, remember?
I'm not going there. My sheet was there, by the way. I posted it. They did. Carol said it wasn't timestamped. I said, I know.
You gotta get one of those things.
Oh, sure. That,
These agendas or their agendas? So what they call FinCom, that's it. Where does anyone know where that comes in the alphabet?
After,
Devon's
A.
original. Finance Appointing Committee, I don't know what that is.
Finance Committee.
February the 21st, January, March the 7th. I don't see one.
okay.
But anyway, if you find out, as you may be ahead of us,
All right, I
because
find out.
your
Drop you a note.
dearly beloved will know before we do.
Is a side note, yeah, and they've changed, well, you must know this, they've changed the whole interface, so
Oh, I
like.
know, it's horrible.
When you used to subscribe, you got notification, now you have to go back and subscribe again.
Yeah,
But now you get to pick which ones you get updates on, so you don't
Okay.
have to get every single cemetery commission.
so now do we want to
Etc.
talk about Wordle?
That's
Did you like the way the sign looks? Do you imagine that as somebody's hand? Turned on it.
Oh, yeah. There is a Far Side cartoon with that, you know.
It's,
There are aliens and that's what their fingers are doing. And the alien, and then all the people have guns and all this, and the alien goes to the other one. And you wanted to use sign language.
Yeah.
that guy, if no one's ever,
This is awesome.
I know.
If I find the time, I will email everyone.
I just asked, because when Deb did the Council on Aging, there were 3 different groups.
Yeah, yeah, typically I think we've had the, a sewer commission with us. Because one year when I finished my bit, they put the next slide up, which was the sewer commission. So I just read the slide and carried on.
And I think what happens.
Thank you
is
very
your
much.
Budget, sewer budget.
Yeah.
There's no town, their own separate budgets.
That's right.
So they do them at the end because, you
It's at the
know,
beginning.
no, the end of the season,
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, the end of the season.
before the warrants and all that.
We
has to be
actually, to my surprise, do have an influence on the town budget. Which took me by surprise, may have taken Joe by surprise.
Yeah,
The indirect costs
oh, yeah.
are an income to the town. Because we pay them for the employees.
Yeah, but then they pay out.
I know, but it's
I
still,
think that's what Faith was asking. Did it go into the general fund?
Yeah,
as I know, the indirect costs do.
Okay, I didn't know that.
You were at the meeting, but yeah,
I was,
we were.
Writing
they were
notes and-
confused as well. I picked up on
I
that.
probably missed it when,
The quarterly Comcast fees should come into the enterprise, not to the general fund. And at the end of each financial year, the enterprise fund remains, which in our case is almost all of it, and has to be, remember the term, it's not requalified. Has to be
recertified.
recertified,
mhm.
available again. But that's process that we suffer from, but it doesn't really have much impact on us.
Okay.
Okay, so we got through,
do we pass the
oh, are
final
we
motion?
supposed to sign this?
Nope,
We haven't done the last
well,
one.
I just wrote that down in case you
We
wanted
didn't
to-
vote on the last motion, because I interrupted you.
You did, congratulations, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, any
For that.
further discussion on the third motion
No,
that authorizes me to stand up, make an idiot of myself?
show everyone how smart you are.
By roll call, Steve,
Aye.
Paul,
Yes,
Faith,
I,
Pete,
Aye.
and myself. So, motion passes. And if I'm not mistaken, so does the meeting. Oh no, there's one more thing left on the
enterprise
agenda.
fund update.
Oh, 2 more. You wanted rebranding of Pacc.
Well, I didn't put that in. Do we have any information on that, Joe?
No,
So.
just
Okay,
one,
to
just
table it.
one person wants it.
table?
I'd like to say something about that.
Oh, please do.
We changed the name of the senior center to the Adult Activity Center. It has made more pain in the neck confusion than you can imagine. The idea was to keep the senior idea out, to get younger people more involved in it, and no one knows what we are.
I know.
So changing Pacc, which is, and everybody's in school, it's the Pacc now, so.
Well,
I
should
don't
we
see-
change our name to Eagle House instead? Would that get people more interested?
He was bad. We should change. That's the state bird.
Turkey, swan, let's do swan. They're elegant.
Chickadee.
The chicken.
Where were we?
Enterprise.
I make a motion to table that discussion.
We should
Yes,
table that.
yes, I second that motion.
Discussion.
None.
So by roll call, put your hands up. Table. Thank you. And the last one is the enterprise
Enterprise
fund,
update.
for which I have no update at this point. We usually get it more than a month after, so it just misses our committee
Right.
meeting.
Right.
So we should get a quarterly one for the next meeting.
So it's on the quarter that you get the report from them.
Well, no, it's on the quarter when they send it out. I don't get it.
Okay, gotcha.
But the principle of what you were saying is correct.
You've already explained that there's a lag there.
There's a lag,
Yeah.
curve.
Yeah.
Move to adjourn.
Second that.
When's
What-
the next
what?
meeting?
Who's
Oh, we
in
should
charge
do
of
the
the
next
meeting?
meeting.
What?
Well, you said I can do it. Next meeting is at April 1st at 6 p.m. at the Lunenburg Town
Well,
Library.
that's appropriate.
April Fools.
Yeah, no joke.
Really happening?
Yes.
April 1st, where? In the library?
Library, yeah.
Library, yeah.
Pranks are optional.
You good with that, Joe? Faith,
Yep, I'm good.
bring your best jokes with you. Now I
Move
will
to adjourn.
entertain a motion. Steve made a motion. Paul seconded.
I
it.
second it.
No discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, show.
Aye.
We're out of here.
Okay,
Good.
good.
I have a question for you. It's,
Oh, hold on,
make a
hold on. We're
presentation.
being recorded. Hold on.
Meeting's adjourned.